Welcome back to Combat Fit. My name is Dean and today I'm going to take you through 5 effective exercises that you can do with a kettlebell, and this is perfect for beginners that are just starting out the gym. These exercises aren't too difficult, they're easy to master, and they're going to work multiple muscles around your body, making this an efficient workout. I'm also going to talk you through repetitions, so how many reps you need to do per exercise, also how many sets and how long you need to rest for as well. And also stay tuned to the end, because I'm also going to give you a bonus tip workout for those people that don't have a long amount of time and you can do this workout in a short amount of time. So exercise number 1 that I'm going to talk you through is called the Goblet Squat. Now the Goblet Squat is going to work and target your legs, such as your quads, also your hamstrings and your glutes. Now with this exercise, we're doing a functional movement. It's also going to work your core muscles as well. And make sure when you're doing this, you are keeping your form really tight. So I'm just going to talk you through the form. Now to start off guys, make sure you find yourself a suitable weight, whether that's a heavier weight, medium or lighter weight. And when you're doing this guys, if you want to focus on strength, then do between 8 and 12 repetitions. If you're working on weight loss and toning, then aim between 12 and 15 repetitions. And obviously you'll be going at a lighter weight if you're doing higher repetitions. So to do this exercise, you're going to hold the kettlebell upside down, okay, like so. Feet shoulder apart and toes turned slightly outwards. Elbows pinned in, shoulders back, chest forward. And from there, slowly lower yourself down. Now you may not have the mobility in your hips to go all the way down really low, so if that's the case, then go down halfway. So if you're doing the full goblet squat, squat down, sit your weight through your heels, pushing your knees outwards, and your elbows should just go on the inside of your knees. Then from there, keeping your chest nice and engaged and tight, we're going to lift up, squeezing the quads and the glutes at the top of the repetition. And again, lower yourself down, nice and low, and then up and squeeze. Lower yourself down, low, again engaging the core, keeping that tight, and up and squeeze. And making sure when you're doing this exercise, you're keeping a straight back and you're not rounding. Now, if you haven't got the mobility to go all the way down low, then instead, all you simply do is the same thing, same form. We'll go down halfway and then back up again. Again, I'm focused on pushing them knees outwards, keeping my back tight in and my core tight and squeezing at the top. So if you're doing a normal workout with this guys, then at a beginner level, I would be doing 2 or 3 sets of that with a 45-second rest if you're working on toning. If you're working on more strength, then again try to aim for 4 sets if you can with a 60-second rest. Exercise number 2 is the deadlift. Now you can use 1 kettlebell if you want to, or if you've got 2 of the same weight, then you can use 2 kettlebells. Now I do recommend that you go a little bit heavier on this weight if you can, just because this is a compound movement, meaning you're going to be working multiple muscles in your body, which makes the exercise a little bit easier. However, if you're just starting off and you're a complete beginner and completely new to this exercise, then I recommend with a medium weight and just focus on your form and your technique. So the deadlift exercise is going to target mainly your hamstrings, your glutes, as well as your core and your lower back muscles. And if you're working on strength, again, all these exercises I want you to do is 8 reps, between 8 and 12 repetitions if you're working at strength. If you're working at weight loss, then aim between 12 and 15 reps and go a little bit on a lighter weight. Now to do this exercise, what you're going to do guys is from the front position, as you can see, I will show the side position just in the corner over here. Now when you're doing this, feet shoulder apart, a little bit more narrow than usual, kettlebell level with your groin, okay, shoulders back, chest forward, so you're in a nice good straight standing position. Now the first thing you need to do is hinge with the hips, so your hips will go back with a slight bend in the knee. Now all you're going to do from there guys is you're going to lower yourself down vertical with a slight bend in the knee. Now obviously I'm looking at the camera with my chin up, but in reality guys you want to keep that chin down as if you've got a tennis ball underneath your chin. So it looks something like this. So again, we hinge from the hips, lower yourself down, slight bend with the knees. As soon as you touch the floor of the kettlebell, we then come up, stand up tall, squeeze your hamstrings and your glutes at the top of the repetition, and then repeat that same movement. So again, hinge with the hips first, slight bend in the knees keep bending as you lower yourself down, but don't bend your knees too much because we want to target those hamstrings more than we want to target the quads. So we want to target the back of the legs more than we target the front of the legs. So here, lay yourself down, control it on the way down, and then again, come up. Now through that whole movement, you want to be keeping your back completely straight. Exercise number 3 is the Kettlebell Swing. So it's going to be the same kind of stance as the squat and the deadlift, but the exercise is going to be completely different. Now, if you're working on weight loss, then I recommend that you do 45 seconds of this exercise, continuous without stopping. And if you're focusing on strength, then do anything between 8 and 12 repetitions at a heavier weight. So, to do this exercise, feet shoulder apart again, as the previous exercise that we've already done. Toes pointed slightly outwards. Grab the kettlebell again and level your groin with both hands. Now, very similar to that deadlift, the first thing you need to do is get some momentum going. Okay? But instead of going down slowly, we're going to scoop the kettlebell in between the legs. My shoulders are back, chest are forward. I'm leaning and hinging on my hips. And then from there, I'm going to fire my hips forward, and that kettlebell should come chest height. So when you're doing this exercise, you shouldn't feel it on your upper body at all, like your arms and your shoulders. It's purely again in the legs. So this is targeting again the hamstrings, the glutes, the core again is going to be playing a big part, okay? Your lower back muscles and also your upper back muscles. So it's the big muscle groups again that's going to burn the most amount of calories and work and target the most muscles around the body. So again, all we're going to do is swing that kettlebell between your legs and then fire it up. Just keep that momentum going, breathing out on the way up, breathing on the way down. So it'll be here, breathe in, breathe out. As you can see in the top right corner, there's a side-on position, so you can see how that exercise is performed from a side-on position with the form. Again, slight bend of the knees, hips go back, squeeze your glutes at the top of the exercise. Now again, on this exercise, if you're just starting off, then do 2 sets repeated with a 45-second rest in between. If you want to work at weight loss, then I recommend that you do 3 laps or 4 laps, and if you're working at strength, then aim for 4 sets or 4 laps of that exercise. So the 4th exercise we're going to do is going to be Kettlebell Rows. Now this exercise is going to target your upper back muscles as well as your biceps, and again it's going to be working those core muscles. Now when you're doing this exercise, you need to make sure that you're near some kind of either worktop, or it could be a table or a sturdy chair that's going to be obviously supporting your weight. You can also use the wall if needs be. Now to do this exercise, you need just 1 kettlebell, okay? Make sure it's a suitable weight. And again, if you're working at strength, then aim between 8 and 12 reps. And if it's more weight loss, then aim between 12 and 15 reps. And again, if you're beginning, do 2 sets. If you're someone who's a bit more experienced and you find it a bit easier and you want to work at weight loss, then 3 laps with a 45-second rest. If you want to work at strength, then aim for 4 sets with a 60-second rest. Now to do this exercise, what you want to do, guys, is you want to make sure you've got 1 hand on the wall. Now I will show you my foot position in a second from a different camera angle in the top corner. But as we're doing this, guys, 1 hand on the either the wall or the bench. Now the key thing to this, guys, don't have yourself too upright. Because if you're too upright, it's going to work more of your trap muscles. Whereas you want to work with the rhomboids, which are your 2 big muscles that sit on your shoulder blades. So, lay yourself down in this position, chest forward, back straight, both legs slightly bent, okay, and then 1 arm in front, whether it's holding onto the wall or onto a worktop. Then from there, guys, you're going to lean yourself down, chest forward, back straight. Now the first thing you do on this exercise is focus on dragging your shoulder blade back. So what I mean by that is pull with your shoulder blade and then start bending your elbow. Where people go wrong with this exercise is they'll start to bend their arm first and then the back. Now what happens there, guys, is you're taking all the weight on your bicep, so you're working this muscle and exhausting this instead of the big muscle groups that you want to work, such as your back muscles. So again, lay yourself down, pull with your shoulder blade, pull your elbow into your hip, and then back down again. So dragging that kettlebell slightly back, pinch your shoulder blade, and back down again. So squeeze, and back down again. In and squeeze, and back down again. In and squeeze, and back down. Exercise number 5, which is our final exercise in this video, is called the overhead press. Now this exercise is going to purely target them shoulders, but also it's going to work some other muscle groups such as your triceps, again your core and your lower back muscles. Now this exercise can be performed with one kettlebell, however because you're using both arms it may be a bit too easy, or you can use 2 kettlebells. So you'll see in the video in the top corner what I mean, so you can either use 1 kettlebell to do the exercise or you can use 2. 2 is going to be a bit more difficult, so if you're starting out as a beginner then I recommend using 1, and obviously as this exercise gets easier then you can increase the weight. Now doing this exercise you want to do it standing, so you're working your core muscles instead of in a seated position where your back is supported. You want to do this standing, so it's more of a functional movement. Now to do this exercise I'm going to show you version 1. So version 1 is using a single kettlebell. So when you're doing this guys you want to cut the kettlebell, so your thumbs through the gap. Grab the kettlebell so you're nice and supported there that you're not going to drop it. Feet shoulder apart. Now the first thing you need to do guys is make sure on the way up here and catch your chin like that. You don't be doing an uppercut on your chin with the kettlebell because you have no teeth left or tongue. So make sure that you are clearing your head. So I will show you the side on position in the corner, but on this video I'll show you in a front position. So feet shoulder apart, back straight, chest forward. Then from there we're going to press the kettlebell up, keeping the elbows tight in, above your head. Now when you're doing this above your head guys, make sure that your biceps don't go past your ears. So you want your arms level with your ears. You don't want them too far in front, but you want them just level with your ears. So all we're doing is we're pressing the kettlebell if you want to as well. A little bend the knees, press up and back down again. Press up and back down again. And on this exercise again, if you're working at weight loss, then aim between 12 and 15 reps of this exercise. And if you're working at strength, then aim between 8 and 12 reps. Again, you can either do, if you're just starting off, and do 2 sets. If you're working at weight loss, then 3 sets with a 45-second rest again. And if you're working at strength, then aim for between 8 and 12 reps and have a 60-second rest. Now version 2 to this exercise is using 2 kettlebells. So to do this, feet shoulder apart. Then from there, have the kettlebells on the back of your wrists, so your palms are facing forwards. Now when you do this guys, don't have your shoulders completely back here, have them just ever so slightly in front. So in side on position, as you can see my elbows aren't back here, they're slightly pinched forward. Then from there, what you do again, you can have a little dip in the knees if you want to. If not, and you want to purely just work them shoulders, then press above your head, bring the kettlebells in, but don't cling them. And then out wide. So we press up, out wide, in, and then back down again. Now when you're doing this, don't arch your back, keep your core tight, and just purely work on shoulders and triceps as you're doing this exercise. So just a quick recap of the exercise that we've covered in today's video. So exercise number 1 was the goblet squat, exercise number 2 was the deadlift, exercise number 3 was the kettlebell swing, exercise number 4 was the single arm row, and exercise number 5 was the overhead kettlebell press. Now again, a quick reminder of the reps, sets and rest that you need to do for this workout. So repetitions is, if you're at beginner level, then just do 2 sets of each of the exercises with a 60-second rest. And if you're someone with more experience and aiming for weight loss, then make sure you do between 12 and 15 reps of each exercise and complete 3 sets of each of them exercises with a 45-second rest in between. And if you're someone that wants to focus on strength, then aim between 8 and 12 repetitions, 4 sets with a 60-second rest.